Welcome back to season 2 of Ray's Corner featuring me, your host, Rae Shawn. It's been a minute, so I'm glad that I can get back around to it, and I hope that you all are in your seats for what I have to come. This season is going to be a little different. It's not going to be completely one-on-ones with all the authors. I'm going to have a lot of panels. I've been sitting on some panels and moderating a few panels over the past year and a half or so, and I'm just really excited to kind of get into some things that we've been having in discussion at some of these conferences that I've attended, or just things that have been coming up on the timeline of Pick Your Platform that I think that would be good to kind of bring more attention to that some other podcasters may have already done, but I want to slide in there and add some more to it. I'm starting off this season with 3 episodes featuring a few of the One Page, One Love anthology authors, which is a flash fiction romance anthology celebrating the power of love in all its forms, one page at a time. It features more than 20 authors, and it brings together a diverse array of love stories, with some told in a single page, while others are told in just a few. And you get a range from heartwarming and passionate to laugh out loud funny. All proceeds from this particular anthology, One Page, One Love, will be donated to the ACLU in support of their mission to defend and preserve civil liberties. There is in no way this anthology being associated or affiliated or even endorsed by the ACLU. It is an independent project, and no platform that this is being listened to or watched on endorses, affiliates, or is associated with this anthology. You can catch it in these streets on May 6th, so not too far off. Make sure you pre order today. And we are going to be starting off with one of the authors who is our participating in the anthology. But before we get there, I'm going to give you a little bit more information about what flash fiction is. And it's basically a complete story told in a very limited word count, and is the essential part of the story: a conflict, a resolution, a character arc, a first meeting, however you want to go about it. And it's basically no filler, no long introductions, just the good stuff, packed into a very tiny space with big emotions. And I hope that you enjoy it. And if you aren't aware of what the ACLU is, well, the ACLU defends the rights of all people across the country, from immigrant rights to trans justice to reproductive freedom and anyone else who is at risk. They are in the courts and in the communities across the country to protect the rights of everyone. They fight against discriminatory policies and laws that have been created to advance an unequal system of justice, which affects disproportionately Black communities and other communities of color or marginalized communities of their civil rights and their liberties that are denied to them, including education, housing, employment, and more. Uses nationwide litigation, advocacy, and other public information to advance laws and policies that are rooted in racial inequity, and they are aiming to end discriminatory policies, laws, and practices that have affected disproportionately minority and marginalized communities. By purchasing a copy of this charity anthology, One Page, One Love, you will be directly assisting in supporting the ACLU. Again, we are not endorsed, affiliated, or supported by them or any platform that you are listening or watching this on today, but we are aiming to help in their efforts to fight in the courts. Without further ado, let's get into our first episode. Kelly Lewis, hello, hello, hello. I'd love if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got started as an author.
Okay, my name is Kelly Lewis, as you said. And honestly, it started about when I was like 9, 10. I had a really, a lot of personal stuff going on, and it gave me an outlet. But I will say, like, when I was younger, I was writing really dark stuff, like, it was crazy. I feel like if a counselor saw it, I would have been locked up somewhere. But, so it was really dark stuff. And like my wife, I've had some pieces, and she read it. She's like, "Dang, you needed a friend." I sure did. But I didn't really take it serious. It was just something to release
Yeah.
what I was feeling because I couldn't speak it. And as I got older, I wanted to dibble, I wanted to dabble, but it wasn't like a sustainable career kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like my mom is always do this, do that. You need to make money. You need to take care of family. So it wasn't something I thought of. Hey, this will make me money. It's just like a little hobby. And then in 2024, I was affected by the hurricane Helene, and I had no job. I had a lot of free time. My child wasn't in school. Didn't have no water, no nothing. And when we did get to opportunities to go and get electricity, because we had to go, out in the town, because I lived in Asheville at the time. So I mean, it was few and far between. But I would just pull out my phone and start writing. You know. And then we did go stay with my mother-in-law for while the lights and water and everything was off, and I'm just writing. So I actually published my first story on Amazon in October of 2024. So I officially jumped into, making it official.
That was a really hard time for a lot of people, but you never really think about like how it can um, move you forward into something that
Right.
you kind of might have been kind of sitting on a little bit. Like so many people were without power, without their home, without water, without a place to go for a long time. It's a little reminiscent of like what's happening in California with the wildfires. It's just like these natural disasters are so heart wrenching,
Hmm.
but you never kind of think about how they can motivate you to do things.
Right. Because during that time, we knew the hurricane, but we're in the mountains. Who's sitting
Yeah,
in the damn mountains? So
right.
scared ish, like as in far as like, oh, we'll get a little rain.
Yeah.
But that Friday, I was going on my way to work. I opened the door, puddle. Because we lived on the top floor. I mean, I said, I ain't going in there. I worked at a pharmacy, and I'm like, you ain't coming in there. And she's like, okay. I ain't been back. No, but they had, like, because and then, like, when I went back in the house, then the power went out.
Mm.
So I said, well, it's a pharmacy. We'll just go to the pharmacy. Maybe we could charge our phones, and we need gas. Of course, we need gas, right?
Always.
Of course, the gas stations don't have electricity. So now we don't have no gas. So we get to my job. There's a big old sinkhole in the parking lot. Trees down everywhere. I said, okay, we're going back home. But then we went home, and then he was like, well, we need to get gas. We need to get food. We need to get something. And
Mhm.
we ended up stranded because we ran out of gas. And we were sitting in the parking lot. She's 7 at the time. So I have a daughter. And I mean, the resilience she had. We walking up and down the street, trying to find food and just to see that, it motivated me to put on my big girl panties, and just like, gotta do this for her because she watching me. If I break down crying, she gonna be doing it. It help nobody, you know? So yeah, it does.
Well, I'm glad that things have gotten better, and I hope they stay that way. We can't ever know, but like it
Hmm.
that is I've not experienced that
Hmm.
myself, but I've seen and I know a lot of people who have been affected by various hurricanes over the years, the wildfires, tornadoes, like and my dad lives in North Carolina still, and I was just like, "So y'all good, right?"
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, we're not close enough to Asheville, so we're good." I was like, "Okay, okay, I'm just checking." But I'm just curious. After writing that first book, obviously you probably have other things that are in the pipeline. But what drew you to the One Page One Love anthology?
Well, honestly, with that, once the hurricane hit, I was like, I'm be honest, I don't do much. Like, I may see, if I see somebody in the corner, I give her a couple of dollars, kind of thing. But I don't. I'm not involved as much as I should. So when I saw the opportunity, I was like, I may not get picked, but what the heck? I ain't got nothing else to do, you know? And it's for charity. Why not put myself out there? And so I said, that's how I'm gonna do it, you know. That's not the only thing I'm doing for charity, but as of right now, that, you know, it jump started it for me.
Yeah, I love that. It is hard to try and figure out like how to give back sometimes.
Mm,
I always think like, well, monetarily you might not be able to because of XYZ reasons, but like what
yeah,
else can you do? And whenever I see opportunities like this, I'm like, can I do it? Can I get it together? Can I do it? So I get you.
mhm,
Can jumpstart that idea of ways to give back.
right.
For your story, what can you give us a little tease of what we're gonna expect from you?
Well, as if you guys know, well, you won't know, but you will know. Um, Lou on social media, and so my story introduces Chef Lou. But so it's about these two strangers, Marcus and Jasmine, and they meet up at Chef Lou's new spot. So there you go.
If y'all don't know, y'all need to follow. I'm just saying, it's
There
very
you go.
exciting looking at that. Ooh, I love your social media. Um, what would you say, because they're strangers, would you say it's like a strangers to lovers kind of little central trope that you're hitting on, or what are we looking at the most?
What's funny is I actually had to, when I was writing it, I don't really know all of them. I'll be honest. You know, the usual, you know, your friends to, you know, lovers and your enemies, boss, all that crap. So I was actually Googling. I was like, what? I wonder what this is under. And they actually said it's under a meet cute.
Oh,
Meet cute.
okay. All right. We love a good meet cute because obviously a meet cute can come up in so many different types of ways. Like it can be strangers, it can be friends reuniting, it can be like so many different things, but we love a good meet cute.
Mhm.
um, so I know that you said you had wrote when you were younger, you kind of just wrote to process through things and everything as far as that goes, but then you also have your first book out. Would you say that you've written other types of flash fictions or short stories before that first book or between the time you started kind of dabbling in writing when you were a child?
Actually, my first book is short. It's
Oh,
33 pages long.
okay, so it is.
It was done. Like, I'm one of them writers where I feel like less is better, honestly. But I didn't expect to, like, this, you know, Jasmine and Marcus is
Mhm.
actually 1,000 words, right? So that was different for me. But as far as, so I'm kind of used to writing shorter. But my second book of my series, is actually going to be, I think, like 200 pages. So I'm actually dabbling in the
Right,
opposite.
longer. You're going the opposite way. It can be. I think the challenge for people who tend to write longer is trying to write shorter, and if you tend to write shorter, trying to stretch it out is harder. So I'm curious to see how it goes for you.
Because for me, I feel like if I could say it in 10 words, I'm going to say it in 10 words. I don't need to say it in 59 chapters. You know, I'm never against nobody saying that. You know, if that's who you do. But I feel like if you get to the meat and potatoes already, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to wait to chapter 52 for them to start, you know, having sex. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, I want, give me that action first page, you know?
There are books. You'd be like, where is it? When is it happening? Come on now. Give it to me.
By the end
No,
of the,
there's slow burns. And I'm like, there's slow burns and then there's like a fizzle
right,
while we playing. But no, I mean, hey, people do what they do and people eat it up for the most part, so
right, yeah.
um
Now,
you said that this kind of was a little bit of a challenge because it was shorter than you've even written before, but like would you say it was out of your comfort zone?
I wouldn't necessarily say out of my comfort zone. I think it was more of, I really had to make sure to keep it intentional because, you know, I feel like I'm more a comedy like romance kind of thing. So I always had those one liners, those banter. I don't want to keep adding it, especially when you have like two people meeting, a little flirtation. You want to constantly, you know, feed back and forth. But I had to realize I had to, you know, bring
Yeah.
that thing. So it kind of. yes and no in that case.
And so, what would you say is the most exciting part of participating in this anthology?
Honestly, being included, seeing my name against, I think it's like 20 plus
Mhm.
other, authors, it's like, wow, especially for me just starting. Because I only just published in October, so that's a couple of months ago. So it's exciting to see some names like, well, I saw your book, like, you're the bestseller. What? Me? Are you
It's, oh, it's
yeah.
some really cool people that are participating.
Hmm.
What do you think, besides the fact that you were writing shorter and you had to try and figure out that banter, what do you think was the most challenging part of writing this story?
I think even though I write, like when I write for myself, like what I would enjoy. I think it's also because it is for charity. I want people to buy it, so we can, support the charity it's going for. So it's like I had to write with other people in mind.
Yeah.
But that to me was a bigger challenge because usually anything I write, I'm like, ooh, I would pick this up. I would, and I'm not saying I wouldn't pick this up, but I have to make sure, like, you know, people want to read what I have to say.
Do you think that you might want to, in the future, expand on this story?
Yes, like my wife and my mother-in-law, I read it to them, and it was like, "That's it." Like, supposed to be 50 days. What do you like? It's like my wife's like, "No, I want more. You can get more. It's a certain category. Like the words I have to give y'all." So I would maybe expand on it, but because it is a like a happily for now kind of thing, I'm also okay if it's not something that happens like next week. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you see yourself as more of a series writer, like standalone books that don't necessarily connect together? Because
So
you have only written your first one, but like you have other stuff.
so my first one, which is Dated Fumbles, that's part one of a three-part series.
Hmm.
And I actually have written book two and three. I'm working on, editing, copyright, and all that good stuff. But I do have the cover for two already done. So it's kind of just on me. Like I'm procrastinating. That's me. But so right now that's my only series, but I do have also standalones that I haven't published yet. I don't know. I just one of those things, I guess it's kind of one of those imposter syndrome kind of things. It's like I know I got it, but I just you know.
I think we all, as authors, all kind of suffer from that a little bit because it's just like, well, what if, and what if, but then
Hmm.
like, and so you're always like keeping yourself from being able to really dive into it and trust that you can do it. And it's just like, but there is a possibility. So I'm curious, because you just started out your journey like officially, where do you kind of see yourself going in the future?
Honestly, if somebody watches this that can be like, "Hey Kelly, I want to sign you. I got some money." Please do. Hit me up. I, like I work. I've been in long term care retail. Not retail. I'm sorry. Long term care pharmacy for
Hmm.
years. So I work in pharmacy. I enjoy it for what it's worth, but I want one of those jobs where I make money sleeping. And I feel like writing, like if I have like a company that works with me kind of thing, and I be like, okay, we want $5. Here's your advance. I'm like, okay, I got you. I want that. I don't want to work for somebody else. Like I'll do it. Like if y'all listening, I'll do it. I'm coming. I'm showing up every day, but I would prefer to work for myself. And,
Yeah, no, yeah, you want that passive income stream where you don't have to like constantly be on, constantly do it.
mhm.
That's me too. Um It's hard. It is hard out here. I write in my day job. I write, in my authoring. It's just constantly writing. But one of those is passive-ish, and the other one is definitely not. So I get you, and I can't imagine working in pharmacy anything right now.
But the good thing, kind of for me, it is a closed door. But I'm on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I I don't want to cuss nobody out, but I will because, man, who you talking to? You know what I mean? Because like. I don't call your job cussing you out.
That
Don't call
part.
me out. You know what I mean? Like I have no qualms about it. Like I will cuss you out. Like that's the energy I'm giving. It's 2025. I'm giving you back your energy. But so I don't want to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where I have to cuss out a nurse.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm like, maybe I'm kind of done with that. But in
Some
case,
yeah, sometimes what you've been doing has to transition into something new because otherwise
mhm.
problems arise. What do you hope that and you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but what do you hope that this anthology brings to light beyond the little love and fun stories that everyone's putting together?
Honestly, that love stories can look like anything. Because remember, like I was saying a little earlier, that there was certain categories I didn't even realize was out there. So to see our other authors, what they're putting together, and it's like, well, dang, I wouldn't even have thought of that myself. So so I want to, and also to be able to hear from voices that I don't usually hear from too. Because notice some of the authors also as well. So it's like to be able to hear what they have to say. I'm happy about that too.
Yeah. Do you plan to or hope to kind of participate in other anthologies that kind of do the similar kind of things, charity anthologies, or just, for yourself type of anthologies where you're actually getting paid?
I am actually interested in that. So if anybody wants to collaborate, or if I'm scrolling through threads again and I see something pop up, I'll sign up because I actually enjoy the process.
Yeah. Do you see yourself mostly focusing on these shorter stories or these flash fiction type stories in the future? Maybe not this short, maybe, 10K words or something. But do you think that you'll be more on the short side of storytelling as you progress? Or do you think that you might move out into more like novel length, 50,000 plus words type?
I would like to get there, but if I don't, I'm okay with that. Because if I could say what I need to say in 10,000 words, I'm okay. I'm give it
It's
to you.
a skill.
Right.
Skill. It is hard to write short.
Like I read books and I love them, they're great, but maybe like how many times can you say like the sky was blue and I get it. I painted the picture already. Like let's move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm loving it, but I just like for me, I just wanna it's the point.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I have read a lot of like shorter books, just trying to I've been trying to figure out how to write them myself because I'm long-winded. I ain't gonna lie. When I get talking, I talk and I talk too long. But I'm just like, it is a skill to
Mm,
to read these authors' books and see them put together a very cohesive story in like 5,000 words, in 10,000 words, in 15,000 words.
right.
I don't know. It's amazing.
Mm.
Um, I think you already mentioned this, but what is your favorite part of having signed up for this anthology? And you did say hearing everyone's voice, but is there anything else?
And the charity as well, being able to give back and to help, especially at the time like we are in now, to be able just to do for others.
Yeah.
So, that's what I've been, you know, happy about, my favorite part of it as well.
What can we expect from you in the coming, I don't know, year or so?
Well, if everything goes well and I don't get fired for cussing somebody out, should be not posting, I'm sorry, publishing 2, 3 more stories this year.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh,
So,
can we get a taste of anything?
okay, so in my first story, Dating Fumbles, is about a lady named Imani. And it was more of her getting to know her, right? And then the second story is her actually falling in love, her unexpected connections. And then the third story in that part is about her best friend. So, and her rocky marriage kind of thing. So, I'm I'm trying to go into like the sisterhood,
Mm-hmm.
friendship thing kind of thing, and I also have a story of a younger girl, not young as far as under 18, because all my books are over 18 plus.
Yeah.
But she's getting into her stuff as well, and she's dibbling, dabbling in like, the LGBTQ kind of thing too. So I'm, opening myself up with that as well.
She's finding herself.
She is. She's freaky in finding her. The girl, oh,
Listen. Talk your shit, sis.
but I'm like,
It's surprising yourself with what you're writing. Don't you love it?
yes, I was like, who do I know to me?
Like, who wrote this, Phils? Wait a second.
I'll be like, get this shit off my screen. I'm
So I know that your story is a little bit longer. So for my story in the anthology, I was seriously challenging myself. I was like, I usually write somewhere between 70 and 80K books, as you can
Mhm.
see. Be long. I wanted to see how short I really could write. So I did 100 words.
Get out of here.
I don't know how I did it.
Hmm.
It was a challenge. I think I pulled it off well. I like it. It was very cute. Um,
Hmm.
so obviously I can't really share anything from my story because it's so short. It's gonna give everything away. But I would love if you could share like your favorite line.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. So my favorite line: blue cheese is for people with grown-up palates. Ranch is for folks who still drink Sunny D. I cannot stand ranch. Give me blue cheese all day. And that's on pure.
Shots fired. I love ranch.
Oops.
No, but I
Too.
get
That's okay.
you.
Hey.
It's a choice. I love it. No, that is so hilarious because I don't like blue cheese. I think it's disgusting. But I know a lot of people who like it and they look at me sideways like,
Mm.
you eat ranch. I'm like,
It's
you eat blue cheese. So it's a battle. It's a debate. And that's a really good line. And it's gonna have people the same reaction I did, like,
hmm that's my favorite line out of.
oh, that's good. Dang. Oh my gosh. I feel like, damn. How do I even recover from that? I can't wait to read this. I cannot wait to read this. This is why I love stuff like this because you get them one-liners, you get the little blurbs, you get the little teases of stories, and you're like, but I need more. I need to know what led to that. I can't wait. Because excuse me, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. I am fine. I'm still gonna eat ranch.
But I'm not gonna judge you too bad. Not too bad.
We
Yeah,
still cool. We still cool.
cool. We still cool. But if I
Oh,
had no blue cheese, I guess I'd do ranch. But blue cheese is superior.
respectfully disagree.
So like I'm gonna
Oh
eat.
my gosh.
I love it. And a flat as well. A flat and some blue cheese. Chef kiss.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I have literally sent back a sandwich that was supposed to be ranch because they put blue cheese on it. And they're like, no, it's ranch. And I was like, you're not finna gaslight me. I know the difference. Take this shit back.
I've always gotten ranch, and they be like, "That's blue cheese." I even what the hell? You can even tell the difference. Ain't no clumps in here. You eat it. You eat it. Tell me, does this taste like blue cheese?
Listen, listen. See, you feel me on the other side. You feel me.
Yeah, just because it's white, don't mean it's the same. You could be giving me mayonnaise, all that. Then.
Oh, oh
I
my
don't.
gosh, that's happened too. I'm not a mayonnaise fan like that. But like it was supposed to be they gave me sauerkraut for my sandwich instead of mayonnaise. I was like, what is this?
You mean hot dog? That's
It
the
was
only
a sandwich.
thing. It's-
People be playing in my face when it comes to food sometimes, and it hurt my feelings. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, we done got all time. Look, I can talk about food. perfect combo right here because I could talk about food a lot. I will go off on a tangent about food, but that's not why we're here. That's gonna have to be an off-call conversation.
Yeah, next time.
Definitely, we can dive into it next time, especially because I know that it's some food stuff going on there. Besides you being a chef, there's some food stuff going on there, so we gotta discuss that for your books in the future. And I really would love for you to come back on. We're gonna see you next season for sure. So.
Mhm. I will have my other hat on. I change the hats every time I come on. How about that?
Yeah, giving us the vibes. But no, thank you for coming on and introducing one page one love to everybody. We're gonna have some more guests in the future, a couple of episodes, getting to know a few more stories. So thank you, Kelly. It was such a pleasure, even though you came at me for my ranch choice.
Listen, I don't judge. I don't yuck anybody's yum. If that's what you're saying, you do you. But okay, maybe I judged a little. When
Just a
they
little, just a
when you stationary, like what? But no, I mean that's you. But I am grateful that you had me on it. This is my first ever, podcast with as a a guest, and I like this. This was fun.
I'm so glad I could. Say that I was gonna say pop your cherry, and then I thought about how that sounded. So I'm so glad that I could be your first podcast
Mm-hmm.
host, and we just don't leave it like that.
Knows in 20 years. I'm just kidding.
So this has been Ray's Corner. I want to thank Kelly for coming on today and giving us some laugh and some realness. Writing can be a very lonely process, and I don't know how many people really realize that. So when authors get to come together and do projects like this, it's just a different type of rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
You meet new people, you learn different ideas, you figure out how people approach their craft, and you get inspired. So again, thank you, Kelly, and I want to make sure y'all order One Page One Love to get her story and my story.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Sula Sullivan and CT Fletcher, for putting together something so awesome. And trust me, y'all won't be disappointed. And as a reminder, nobody puts Ray in the corner unless she's gushing over books. We out.
Period.